Welcome back, traders, to today's installment of Swing Trading US Oil, or WTI. Now, last week I made a bunch of calls in terms of what was happening in the oil space, and remember, like with the analysis that I do, you kind of got to look at both options and wait for which one gets triggered first. Then once it does, then you can then look at that as a whole. So a lot of the time it's when I'm actually describing or laying out the analysis, whether I want it to happen or not, I could always end up being more biased towards a move I actually want to happen, supposing to what is actually happening in the market. But what I like to do is give a balance of both, of the selling opportunities as well as the buying opportunities, right? And what I hope you do is you will assess both of them. And normally what I do, despite everything, is I would go for which one's triggers first, supposing to going for my buyers to trigger first, unless if it's slightly a little bit unless if it's something slightly a little bit different. So say for example something like gold, because gold I'm only taking long positions, and with silver I'm doing the same thing too, right? Only taking long positions. So that one there is, I'll look for the pullbacks so I could kind of jump in with a new position. That's more or less my thinking on those two assets there, and they're my favorite, gold and silver. They're my absolute favorite, right? I love them. Now, when it comes to oil, obviously we're going to be selling as well as we're buying, because you can't hold oil forever, and oil doesn't go down forever, right? So it's always doing a balancing act. It's one of the hardest things to trade, in my opinion, trading oil, right? But however, if you get your head around how to navigate the oil space, believe it or not, you can navigate a whole bunch of other assets as well, right? Cryptos, you name it, cryptos, forex, and all these other cool things. So it really is a good thing to kind of learn how to do everything the hard way, then find an easier option and just put yourself in that, and you know what I mean, make life easy for yourself. So with that said and done, we're going to get straight into the business of the day of the analysis. So last week's analysis, right, 6 days ago, was based off working with low volume nodes as well as potential areas for market to return to. So these are the yellow areas here, and these areas were where we would have made decisions, if say within the last 6 days from the last video, if price found itself in either of these spots, right, in either of these locations, we will be making a decision. So right now, with where price is right now, okay, we more or less will be looking for buys, right? We more or less will be looking for buys. Why? Because price is currently, so if you look at this, so we've got volume profile. Sorry, it's kind of all over the place, but just bear with me, right? You'll be able to follow along. So inside of the volume profile, we're in the value area low right now, okay? So price is just under the value area low, right? So it's playing around in this area. It's just gone under it, right? And what we're waiting for, so this is not the part where you will automatically jump in, right? What we're waiting for is we're waiting for price to close above the value area low. So say an acceptable price to be 65.95, right? We get price close above that, it is fair to assume the price plans on pushing all the way up. At the bare minimum, heading to the area of point of control, which is around $73.19. Right, let me see, 73.33 if I get it dead on, right? Now, when it gets to point of control, this can either be selling opportunities or buying opportunities, right? Because the ultimate goal of market could be to try to get all the way up to, say, 79.56, right? So this could happen, and if it does, these are the types of situations that we're going to go for. We're going to lock in. We get to the top of this area right here, which is where we have our most resistance level, which is set for us inside of a low volume node, and which is just just above. So the low volume node is sitting above the volume area high, okay? So we know that the probability of price making it down here and rejecting is going to be quite high. Hence why this yellow massive zone here is kind of plotted in there for you guys, because essentially meaning once price makes its way up into this zone, you should start looking for sales, right? You should be looking like your eyes should be peeled for one thing and one thing only: sells. Why? Because the thing with oil, right? The thing with oil is that the zone that we find oil in right now, believe it or not, it is the sweet spot for oil. Now, when we're looking at all of this over here, all this stuff over here, this was a different situation that we had over here, right? That was a different world that we had over here, supposing to what we've got here now. As it stands, the price of oil. Okay, so I put it to you like this, right? Yeah, the chances of us seeing oil below, let's say, let me just look over here. Seeing oil below 53, and which is an impossible number, negative 4 cents, right? So negative 4 cents, right? Yeah, it's practically impossible. Something has to go wrong again, right, for that to happen, right? So the fair value of oil, in all fairness, is literally sitting between, in my opinion, I would say fair value of oil is sitting between $50 and I would say $80, right? With the little bits on top as the extremes, right? So when you get oil in this zone right here, like how it is right now, it's a bit like a seesaw. You buy the bottom, which is where oil is now. It swings all the way up to the top. You sell the top, and then it swings all the way back down to the bottom again, and then that is what you do. Now, the thing with how I said it all is, it really sounds really simple, right? Sell the bottom, that's wrong. That's wrong. Sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top, right? It sounds really simple to do, but I promise you it's not. And if you've been in this game for any period of time, you know this is hard to do, right? And how we try to make this concept easy for us is we have to wait for price to confirm that it wants to come down with an all-encompassing move. It will give us some sort of indication to say it wants to come down. And once it gives that over, that's when we tap in with our sales or buying position. So right now, using this as an example, because we're on a day chart right now, right? Right now, there will be some guys out there that would have automatically locked in their buys in oil at this level, okay, right? And the problem that I have with them doing that is, first things first, is this kind of set themselves up to be disappointed quite early in the game, right? They've set themselves up to be disappointed. Why? Because this could fly all the way down to, say, I don't know, let's say 62. Okay, so price could come all the way down to, say, 62. Okay, at 62, let me just drop it right here, 62. So price could make his way all the way down here at 62. Okay, you've purchased up here, you've put your stop down here. Okay, you put your stop down here because you're like, okay, it shouldn't come any lower. But you've tapped in and there is nothing confirming right now that it's planning on going that way. Bearing in mind, it's under the value area high. So there's nothing saying it's going to go up. You've just tapped in because it's in position, right? So first thing, the first decision to tap in was wrong, but at the same time you was right. Why? Because A, you're meant to identify this location for what is actually taking place, but you're not supposed to tap in until it confirms itself that it is moving away to the upside. So which means buying here, as good as it looks, if you get it right, if what you say happens, right, you really want price up here. Price up here tells you it is going up, okay? At least for the next, I don't know, 5-6 hours, it's going to go your way. It's going to go your way. You're going to see profits on your charts, right? So, like I said, in this particular situation that we have here, we actually have bullish sentiment in market right now based on where it is. Okay, and I would say if price bounces from 62, so if it bounces from this level, okay, get ready. Don't do anything, but just get ready, right? And if you get a close above 66, then you can lock in, and at the bare minimum you can target point of control, which is 73.34. Okay, now remember, I'm not a financial advisor giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you my thoughts and plays as to how I would move in the oil market, right? So once again, I hope you found this content useful. And if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you turn on the notification, and you drop us a like, and I will see all of you amazing people again on the next one.